Namaste. Welcome back to Samskriti. We are now in Sarga 6 of Adhyatma Ramayanas, Ayodhya Kandam, presenting a short summary in English followed by the chanting of the verses in Sanskrit. Seeing Rama sleeping on the ground, Guha's eyes are filled with tears of pity, sorrow, and sympathy. And he says to Lakshmana, "O brother, Raghava, who used to recline on a golden bedstead on a beautiful mattress in his majestic palace, is now sleeping on the rough bed made of grass and leaves. He blames the destiny that made Kaikeyi cause agony and distress to Rama and says that she is greatly sinned by relying on the corrupted wisdom and advice of Manthara." Lakshmana, on hearing this, tells to Guha, "O my friend, who is responsible for the sorrow and distress of others? No one actually. A man's past deeds are the only cause of his happiness or sorrow. It is a perverted intelligence that attributes these experiences as caused by another, and vain pride that makes one think that I am doing such an act. The pure self, the true I, which is pure consciousness, is in fact doing nothing. It has no ego or pride as such. A person establishes various imaginary relationships such as friends, relatives, enemies, neutrals, etc. But the responsibility for one's actions is entirely on oneself. We wrongly attribute them to others. Hence, a person should cope with all the sorrows and happiness that come along due to the effects of his past deeds, prarabdha karma, with great fortitude, indifference, forbearance, equanimity, and placidity of the mind. And as a consequence, he should remain calm, cheerful, happy, and serene. In whichever country or whatever time one does good or bad, auspicious or inauspicious, without doubt, he has to enjoy or suffer its consequences accordingly. What is ordained by the Creator cannot be overcome by anyone, be he a Deva or an Asura. This body of ours, which is a product of our virtuous and sinful actions, is always subject to happiness and misery. The life of man is a bundle of such mixed experiences. Sorrow follows happiness and vice versa. Both of them are sequential and unavoidable like day and night. Both of them have the same relationship with each other as water has with slush. This is why enlightened men consider everything as Maya or an illusion and remain unperturbed without yielding to elation or depression. While Guha and Lakshmana were talking to each other, the dawn illuminated the sky. Then Sri Rama, getting up from sleep, bathed in the water of the river and performed his morning rituals. Rama then asked for a strong boat to be brought soon, hearing which the lord of the Nishada community, Guha, himself brought a boat with an auspicious make and markings and requested Rama to board the boat along with Sita and Lakshmana. They did accordingly, and then Guha himself rowed the boat along with his clansmen. When the boat reached midstream, Sita prayed to river Ganges, "O goddess Ganga, I bow my head before you. While returning from the forest, I shall worship you along with Sri Rama and Lakshmana." Having prayed so, they crossed the river in due course and proceeded further on their path. Guha now requested Raghava to let him accompany them to the forest, else he would give up on his life. Hearing these words of the hunter chief, Sri Rama promised Guha that he shall return after spending 14 years in the Dandakaranya. Saying this, Rama consoled his devotee Guha, embraced him repeatedly, and bid him farewell. Guha then returned home unwillingly. Thereafter, Sri Rama, along with Vaidehi and Lakshmana, arrived near the hermitage of sage Bharadwaja and stood outside it. Rama then requests a resident brahmachari standing there to convey the news of his arrival to his guru Bharadwaja. When the news was conveyed, sage Bharadwaja was exalted and stood up instantly and went towards Rama, carrying with him the ingredients for the offerings of Arghya and Padya. Having welcomed them in the traditional manner, sage Bharadwaja escorted the two brothers along with Sita to his hut. He then tells them that his austerities and penances have been duly rewarded by having the privilege of meeting Sri Rama. Sage Bharadwaja then says that he is well aware of Rama being the Supreme Lord, Paramatman, who has assumed a human form to complete the job of the gods, which is elimination of the demonic forces from the earth. He extols Rama as the Purusha that transcends Prakriti, now incarnated in the Kakusta's line. Thereupon, Rama, along with Sita and Lakshmana, saluted the sage, seeking his blessings, saying that they are mere Kshatriyas. Thus conversing, they spent the night at the ashrama of Bharadwaja. Next morning, Raghava boarded a large boat constructed by the pupils of Bharadwaja and used it to cross the river Yamuna. He then proceeded towards the Chitrakuta mountains as directed by the sage. Soon, he reached a hermitage that was inhabited not only by a large number of sages, but also was full of animals and birds and trees laden with flowers and fruits. Meeting sage Valmiki there, Rama, Lakshmana and Sita saluted him. Sage Valmiki, with his eyes brimming with tears of exhilaration, embraced Rama and duly worshipped the Lord with full devotion and dedication. Raghava then informs sage Valmiki that they are at the Dandakaranya forest at the command of their father and requests him to show a place where they can stay peacefully and comfortably. Hearing this, sage Valmiki gave a smile and said, "O Rama, you are the only place for all the creatures to reside in. That is, you are the final resting place for the soul, while at the same time they are your abode. That is, the Supreme Lord or the macrocosmic soul resides as the microcosmic soul in all creatures as pure self or pure consciousness or the Atma of the creature." Sage Valmiki then goes on to point out the place of residence for Rama to stay with Sita at his bequest. The best residence is the heart of those who are peaceful, even-minded, people who adore Rama with great devotion, who are ever resigned to him and who repeat his name, who are devoid of all desires, without self-conceit, ever established in perfect contentment. He who sees the 6 transformations of one's being as occurring to the body and not to the self, whoever sees hunger and thirst, happiness and misery as belonging to the prana and not to the Atman, and whoever is free from involvement in the processes of samsara. The heart of such a person would be a fitting residence for Rama to dwell with Sita. Sage Valmiki then talks about the greatness of Rama Nama, the greatness of the name by the power of which he attained the status of Brahmarshi. He recounts the past when he was living in the land of hunters, Kiratas. Though he was a Brahmana by birth, he was given to the ways of the most ignoble people. Many sons were born to him who were no better than Shudras, and in order to support them, he had associated with thieves and robbers and took to their profession as a means of livelihood. Every day, equipped with bow and arrow, he would move about in the forest as death embodied, to threaten and, if necessary, kill his victims. One day, he saw the 7 celestial sages pass through the dense forest. They were self-illuminated like the fire and the sun due to their own splendor and radiance. Moved by greed, he desired to rob them of their possessions, and for that purpose, he followed and ordered them to stop. When he was questioned by them, he tells them that he is doing this for the support of his huge family. Then, the sages, in a very gentle tone, asked him to go to his family and ask every one of them individually whether they are willing to share the sins that he is accumulating every day. The sages also assured him that they shall remain there itself and would not escape until his return. He accepts and then goes to his home, asking his sons and wife the question that the sages had asked him. But their reply was that they were willing to share only his earnings and not his sins. Their words drove him to a mood of tremendous repentance. He now hurried back to the place where the merciful sages were awaiting his return. His mind being purified by the sight of these holy men, he abandoned his weapons like bow and arrow and fell flat before them in salutation. The sages assured him, saying that the contact with holy men will certainly be fruitful. After a brief discussion among themselves, they decided to salvage him and initiated him into thy name in the reverse order as Mara, and asked him to repeat it continuously there itself with concentration of mind. After which, those holy and divine looking sages departed. He immediately started to put their advice into practice in all sincerity, repeated the name with such concentration that he lost awareness of all external things. Devoid of all worldly attachments, he went on with this practice for a long time without moving the body in the least, and as a consequence, an ant hill, Valmika, gathered around him and rose above his head. At the end of 1,000 divine years, those same sages who had instructed him returned, and seeing him in that condition, they called out for him to come out. He then arose from the seat at once. As the sun emerges from the clouds, he got out of the mold of earth. The sages thereupon said, "This emergence from a mold of earth is second birth to you. O sage, you will hereafter be known as Valmiki, one born out of Valmika or an ant hill." So saying, they departed to the heavenly regions. Having recounted his past, sage Valmiki addressed Rama, saying that he is now privileged to see Rama with Sita and Lakshmana with his mortal eyes. He has thereby certainly become liberated. So saying, the sage Valmiki, along with Rama, Lakshmana, and some of his own disciples, went to a region between the Ganga and the Chitrakuta mountains. There, an extensive plot was located, and Rama, whose real residence is the whole world, had two spacious thatched constructions made, one extending from east to west and the other south to north. Like divine beings, Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana took their residence in those abodes. Adored by sage Valmiki, Rama, along with Sita and Lakshmana, began to live there most happily, even as Indra, the king of gods, lives in heaven with his wife Sachi. We shall get on with the chanting now. Shashtah Sargah Suptam Ramam Samalokya Guhasoshruparipplutah Lakshmanam Praha Vinayat Bhratah Pashyasi Raghavam Shayanam Kushapatraugha Samstare Sitaya Saha Yashyete Swarnaparyanke Swastirne Bhavanottame Kaikeyi Ramadukhasya Karanam Vidhina Krita Manthara Buddhimasthaya Kaikeyi Papamacharat Tachrutva Lakshmanah Praha Sake Shunu Vacho Mama Kaha kasya hetur dukkhasya kascha hetus sukasya cha swapurvarjita karmaiva karanam sukha dukkhayoho sukasya dukkasya na kopi data paro dadatiti kubuddhiresha aham karomiti vrithabhimanah swakarma sutra grathito hi lokah suhranmitraryudasinat veshamadhyastha bandhavaha swayamevacharan karma tatha tatra vibhavyate sukham va yadi va dukkham swakarma vashago narah yadyadhyatagatam tattat bhuktva swasthamana bhavet name bhogagame vancha name bhoga vivarjane agachatvathamagatchatva bhoga vashago bhavet swasmin deshe cha kale cha यस्माद्वा येन केन वा कृतं शुभाशुभं कर्म भोज्यं तत्तत्र नान्यथा अलं हर्षविषादाभ्यां शुभाशुभफलोदये विधात्रा विहितं यद्यत्तदलङ्घ्यं सुरासुरैः सर्वदा सुखदुःखाभ्यां नरः प्रत्यवरुध्यते शरीरं पुण्यपापाभ्याम् उत्पन्नं सुखदुःखवत् सुखस्यानन्तरं दुःखं दुःखस्यानन्तरं सुखं द्वयमेतद्धि जन्तूनाम् अलङ्घ्यं दिनरात्रिवत् सुखमध्ये स्थितं दुःखं दुःखमध्ये स्थितं सुखं द्वयमन्योन्यसंयुक्तं प्रोच्यते जलपङ्कवत् तस्माद्धैर्येण विद्वांस इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु न हृष्यन्ति न मुह्यन्ति समं मायेति भावनात् गुहलक्ष्मणयोरेवं भाषतोर्विमलं नभः बभूव रामसलिलं स्पृष्ट्वा प्रातः समाहितः उवाच शीघ्रं सुदृढं नावमानय मे सखे श्रुत्वा रामस्य वचनं निषादाधिपतिर्गुहः स्वयमेव दृढं नावम् आनिनाय सुलक्षणां स्वामिन्नारुह्यतां नौकां सीतया लक्ष्मणेन च वाहयेन्यातिभिः सार्धम् अहमेव समाहितः तथेति राघवः सीताम् आरोप्य शुभलक्षणां गुहस्य हस्तावालम्ब्य स्वयं चारोहदच्युतः आयुधादीन् समारोप्य लक्ष्मणोऽप्यारुरोह च गुहस्तान् वाहयामास ज्ञातिभिः सहितः स्वयं गङ्गामध्ये गतां गङ्गां प्रार्थयामास जानकी देवी गङ्गे नमस्तुभ्यं निवृता वनवासतः रामेण सहिताहं त्वां लक्ष्मणेन च पूजये सुरामान् सोपहारैश्च नानाबलिभिराधृता इत्युक्त्वा परकूलं तौ शनैरुत्तीर्य जग्मतुः गुहोऽपि राघवं प्राह गमिष्यामि त्वया सह अनुज्ञां देहि राजेन्द्र नो चेत् प्राणान् त्यजाम्यहम् श्रुत्वा नैषादिवचनं श्रीरामस्तमथाब्रवीत् 14 समास्थित्वा दण्डके पुनरप्यहम् आयास्याम्युदितं सत्यं नासत्यं रामभाषितम् इत्युक्त्वा लिङ्घ्यतं वक्तं समाश्वास्य पुनः पुनः निवर्तयामास गुहं सोऽपि कृच्छाद्ययो गृहं तत्र मेध्यं मृगं हत्वा पक्त्वा हुत्वा च ते त्रयः भुक्त्वा वृक्षतले सुप्त्वा सुखमासततां निशां ततो रामस्तु वैदेह्या लक्ष्मणेन समन्वितः भरद्वाजाश्रमपदं गत्वा बहिरुपस्थितः तत्रैकं वटुकं दृष्ट्वा रामः प्राह च हे वटो रामो दाशरथिः सीता लक्ष्मणाभ्यां समन्वितः आस्ते बहिर्वनस्येति ह्युच्यतां मुनिसन्निधौ तच्छ्रुत्वा सहसा गत्वा पादयोः पतितो मुनेः स्वामिन् रामः समागत्य वनाद् बहिरवस्थितः सभार्यः सानुजः श्रीमान् आह मां देवसन्निभः भरद्वाजाय मुनये ज्ञापयस्व यथोचितं। तच्छ्रुत्वा सहसोत्थाय भरद्वाजो मुनीश्वरः गृहीत्वार्घ्यं च पाद्यं च रामसामीप्यमाययौ। दृष्ट्वा रामं यथा न्यायं पूजयित्वा स लक्ष्मणम् आह मे पर्णशालां भो राम राजीवलोचन। आगच्छ पादरजसा पुनीः रघुनन्दन। इत्युक्त्वोटजमानीय सीतया सह राघवौ भक्त्याः पुनः पूजयित्वा चकारातिथ्यमुत्तमम्। अद्याहं तपसः पारं गतोऽस्मि तव सङ्गमात्। ज्ञातं राम तवोदन्तं भूतं चागामिकं च यत्। जानामि त्वां परात्मानं मायया कार्यमानुषं। यदर्थम् अवतीर्णोऽसि प्रार्थितो ब्रह्मणा पुरा। यदर्थं वनवासस्ते यत्करिष्यसि वै पुरः। जानामि ज्ञानदृष्ट्याहं जातया त्वदुपासनात्। इतः परं त्वां किं वक्ष्ये कृतार्थोऽहं रघूत्तम। यस्त्वां पश्यामि काकुत्स्थं पुरुषं प्रकृतेः परं। रामस्तम् अभिवाद्याः सीता लक्ष्मणसंयुतः। अनुग्राह्यास्त्वया ब्रह्मन् वयं क्षत्रियबान्धवाः। इति सम्भाष्यतेऽन्योन्यं मुषित्वा मुनिसन्निधौ। प्रातरुत्थाय यमुनाम् उत्तीर्य मुनिवारकैः। कृताप्लवेन मुनिना दृष्टमार्गेण राघवः। प्रययौ चित्रकूटाद्रिं वाल्मीकेर्यत्र चाश्रमः। गत्वा रामोऽथ वाल्मीकेः आश्रमं ऋषिसङ्कुलं। नानामृगद्विजाकीर्णं नित्यपुष्पफलाकुलं। तत्र दृष्ट्वा समासीनं वाल्मीकिं मुनिसत्तमम्। ननाम शिरसा रामो लक्ष्मणेन च सीतया। दृष्ट्वा रामं रमानाथं वाल्मीकिर्लोकसुन्दरं। जानकी लक्ष्मणोपेतं जटामुकुटमण्डितं। कन्दर्पसदृशाकारं कमनीयाम्बुजेक्षणं। दृष्ट्वैव सहसोतस्तौ विस्मयानिमिषेक्षणः। आलिङ्घ्य परमानन्दं रामं हर्षाश्रुलोचनः। पूजयित्वा जगत्पूज्यं भक्त्यार्घ्यादिभिरादृतः। फलमूलैः समधुरैः भोजयित्वा च लालितः। राघवप्राञ्जलिः प्राह वाल्मीकिं विनयान्वितः। पितुराज्ञां पुरस्कृत्य दण्डकानागता वयं। भवन्तो यदि जानन्ति किं वक्ष्यामोऽत्र कारणं। यत्र मे सुखवासाय भवेत् स्थानं वदस्व तत्। सीतया सहितः कालं किञ्चित् तत्र नयाम्यहम्। इत्युक्तो राघवेणासौ मुनिः सस्मितमब्रवीत्। त्वमेव सर्वलोकानां निवासस्थानमुत्तमम्। तवापि सर्वभूतानि निवाससदनानि हि। एवं साधारणं स्थानम् उक्तं ते रघुनन्दन। सीतया सहितस्येति विशेषं पृच्छतस्तव। तद्वक्ष्यामि रघुश्रेष्ठ यत्ते नियतमन्दिरम्। शान्तानां समदृष्टीनाम् अद्वेष्टॄणां च जन्तुषु। त्वामेव भजतां नित्यं हृदयं ते धिमन्दिरम्। धर्माधर्मान् परित्यज्य त्वामेव भजतो निशम्। सीतया सह ते राम तस्य हृत्सुखमन्दिरम्। त्वन्मन्त्रजापको यस्तु त्वामेव शरणं गतः निर्द्वन्द्वो निःस्पृहस्तस्य हृदयं ते सुमन्दिरम् निरहङ्कारिणः शान्ता ये रागद्वेषवर्जिताः समलोष्टाश्मकनकाः तेषां ते हृदयं गृहम् त्वयि दत्तमनो बुद्धिः यः सन्तुष्टः सदा भवेत् त्वयि सन्त्यक्तकर्मा यस्तन्मनस्ते शुभं गृहम् यो न द्वेष्ट्य प्रियं प्राप्य न हृष्यति सर्वं मायेति निश्चित्य त्वां भजेत्तन्मनो गृहम् षड्भावादिविकारान्यः देहे पश्यति नात्मनि क्षुत्रुट्सुखं भयं दुःखं प्राणबुद्ध्योर्निरीक्षते संसारधर्मैर्निर्मुक्तः तस्य ते मानसं पश्यन्ति ये सर्वगुहाशयस्थं त्वां चिघ्नं सत्यमनन्तमेकम् अलेपकं सर्वगतं वरेण्यं तेषां हृदब्जे सहसीतया वस निरन्तराभ्यासदृढीकृतात्मनां त्वत्पादसेवा परिनिष्ठितानां त्वन्नामकीर्त्या हतकल्मषाणां सीतासमेतस्य गृहं हृदब्जे राम त्वन्नाम महिमा वर्ण्यते केन वा कथं यत्प्रभावादहं राम ब्रह्मर्षित्वम् अवाप्तवान् अहं पुरा किरातैः सह वर्धितः जन्ममात्रद्विजत्वं मे शूद्राचाररतः सदा शूद्रायां बहवः पुत्रा उत्पन्ना मे जितात्मनः ततश्चोरैश्च संगम्य चोरोऽहमभवं पुरा धनुर्बाणधरो नित्यं जीवानामन्तकोपमः एकदा मुनयः सप्त दृष्टा महति कानने साक्षान्मया प्रकाशन्तः ज्वलनार्कसमप्रभाः तानन्वधावं लोभेन तेषां सर्वपरिच्छदान् गृहीतु कामस्तत्राहं तिष्ठेति चाब्रवम् दृष्ट्वा मां मुनयो पृच्छन् किमायासि द्विजाधम अहं तानब्रवं किञ्चित् आदातुं मुनिसत्तमाः पुत्रदारादयः सन्ति बहवो मे बुभुक्षिताः तेषां संरक्षणार्थाय चरामि गिरिकानने ततो मामूचुरव्यग्राः पृच्छगत्वा कुटुम्बकं यो मया प्रतिदिनं क्रियते पापसञ्चयः यूयं तद्भागिनः किं वा नेति वेति पृथक् वयं स्थास्यामहे तावत् आगमिष्यसि निश्चयः तथेत्युक्त्वा गृहं गत्वा मुनिभिर्यदुदीरितम् अपृच्छं पुत्रदारादीन् तैरुक्तोऽहं रघूत्तम पापं तवैव तत्सर्वं वयं तु फलभागिनः तच्छ्रुत्वा जातनिर्वेदो विचार्य पुनरागमं मुनयो यत्र तिष्ठन्ति करुणापूर्णमानसाः मुनीनां दर्शनादेव शुद्धान्तःकरणो भवम् धनुरादीन् परित्यज्य दण्डवत्पतितोऽस्म्यहं रक्षध्वं मां मुनिश्रेष्ठ गच्छन्तं निरयार्णवम् इत्यग्रे पतितं दृष्ट्वा मामोचुर्मुनिसत्तमाः उत्तिष्ठोत्तिष्ठ भद्रन्ते सफलः सत्समागमः उपदेक्ष्यामहे तुभ्यं किञ्चित्तेनैव मोक्ष्यसे परस्परं समालोच्य दुर्वृत्तोऽयं द्विजाधमः उपेक्ष्य एव सद्वृत्तैः तथापि शरणं गतः रक्षणीयः प्रयत्नेन मोक्षमार्गोपदेशतः इत्युक्त्वा रामते नाम व्यत्यस्ताक्षरपूर्वकम् एकाग्रमनसात्रैव मरेति जप सर्वदा आगच्छामः पुनर्यावत्तावदुक्तं सदा जप इत्युक्त्वा प्रययुः सर्वे मुनयो दिव्यदर्शनाः अहं यथोपदिष्टं तैः तथा करवमञ्जसा जपन्नेकाग्रमनसा बाह्यं विस्मृतवानहम् एवं बहुतिते काले गते निश्चलरूपिणः सर्वसङ्गविहीनस्य वल्मीको भून्ममोपरि ततो युगसहस्रान्ते ऋषयः पुनरागमन् मामूचुर्निष्क्रमस्वेति तच्छ्रुत्वा तूर्णमुत्थितः वल्मीकान् निर्गतश्चाहं निहारादिव भास्करः मामप्याहुर्मुनिगणा वाल्मीकिस्त्वं मुनीश्वर वल्मीकात् सम्भवो यस्मात् द्वितीयं जन्म ते भवत् इत्युक्त्वा ते ययुः दिव्यगतिं रघुकुलोत्तम अहं ते रामनाम्नश्च प्रभावादीदृशो भवम् अद्य साक्षात् प्रपश्यामि ससीतं लक्ष्मणेन च रामं राजीवपत्राक्षं त्वां मुक्तो नात्र संशयः आगच्छ रामभद्रन्ते स्थलं वै दर्शयाम्यहम् एवमुक्त्वा मुनिः श्रीमान् लक्ष्मणेन समन्वितः शिष्यैः परिवृतो गत्वा मध्ये पर्वतगङ्गयोः तत्र शालां सुविस्तीर्णां कारयामास वासभूः प्राक्पश्चिमं दक्षिणोदक् शोभनं मन्दिरद्वयं जानक्या सहितो रामो लक्ष्मणेन समन्वितः तत्र ते देवसदृशा ह्यवसन् भवनोत्तमे वाल्मीकिना तत्र सुपूजितोऽयं रामः स सीतः सह लक्ष्मणेन देवैर्मुनीन्द्रैः सहितो मुदास्ते स्वर्गे यथा देवपतिः स शच्या इति श्रीमध्यात्मरामायणे उमामहेश्वरसंवादे अयोध्याकाण्डे 6 सर्गः।